welcome to Around the MLS with Sam right here on Africa Sports Network. Yes, and week 6 come and gone, and I think week 6 produced the least number of goals we've seen this season. I think week 7, week 5 produced more than week 6. Week 6 only produced 28 goals in week 6. Only 3 away wins, 6 draws, and 5 home wins across 14 matchups in both East and Western Conference in this 2023 MLS regular season. Alright, the game between LA Galaxy and Seattle Sounders is kind of generating a little bit of controversy. Looking at the coach of LA Galaxy is saying there should have been a penalty for his team on Nuhu's handball inside their goal area. But then, when you look at the clip, you got to judge for yourself. So we'll still show you the clip of that Nuhu allegedly handball that the referee didn't give a no penalty call, so you can judge for yourself. And also, FC Cincinnati powered into number 1 spot in the Eastern Conference with a 1-0 home win over Inter Miami. Like I told you in week 5, that pay attention to FC Cincinnati, because TQL Stadium is a tough place for opponents to pick points, and they proved just that with a 1-0 home win over Inter Miami, and that propelled them to number 1 spot in the Eastern Conference. So look at the table after week 6 in the Eastern Conference, and you see FC Cincy flying high in the Eastern Conference. What of Houston Dynamo on the road? Their road woes continue as they went down 2-1 at San Jose Earthquake. I mean, we'll talk about that game, and also we'll hear what head coach Ben Austin has to say during his post-match conference after that away loss to San Jose Earthquake. Alright, Hani Mukhtar was able to find his MVP form as he helped Nashville beat Orlando City 2-0 away from home, and he said, "Oh, Nashville is back." When you look at Fafa Picault, ex-Houston Dynamo player who put Nashville in the lead with his first goal for the team before Hani Mukhtar put the icing on the cake for Nashville as they continue their run in the Eastern Conference. While St. Louis Football Club, new expansion team, they are not superhuman after all. Finally, they are no more undefeated. FC Minnesota was able to grind out a 1-0 away win at St. Louis. Yeah, in week 6. And during my week 5 preview, I said, that should St. Louis be wary or concerned about Minnesota's ability to grind that result, on difficult ground. And yeah, when you look at Minnesota, they are yet to get a home win, but all their 3 wins have all come on the road. So any team that is hosting FC Minnesota in week 7 should be careful about that team, because they have the ability to grind that result on tough ground, and they did that, handing St. Louis their first defeat this season with a hard-fought 1-0 away win for FC Minnesota. Alright, Columbus Crew goals did not dry off. Columbus Crew ran riot of Real Salt Lake with a 4-0 home win. Remember, Columbus Crew in week 5 trashed Atlanta 6-1. So in 2 games, Columbus Crew have scored 10 goals and they've conceded only just 1. So they ran riot of Real Salt Lake with a 4-0 home win over. They have conceded 8 goals in 2 games. Remember, in week 5, they lost to St. Louis 4-0. And now in week 6, they lost away to Columbus Crew 4-0. That's conceding 8 goals in 2 games. What a put up defense they have there in Real Salt Lake. So Columbus Crew high flying in the Eastern Conference. So Eastern Conference this season is going to be a really competitive, looking at the way teams are scoring goals and also securing or making their home turf a difficult place to pick points. Alright, so this is still Around the MLS with Sam on Africa Sports Network. We'll be right back with that Nuhu's purported handball inside the 18-yard box, and also talk about the game between LA Galaxy and Seattle Sounders. Alright, welcome back to the program. This is still Around the MLS with Sam right here on Africa Sports Network. All right, then, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on my social media platforms on Instagram, YouTube, and also on Twitter, and like my profile on Facebook. All right, let's go to that game between Seattle Sounders away at LA Galaxy, because the coach of LA Galaxy is saying that they should have gotten like a penalty with that Newham. But before we go to that, let's look at Chu's second goal that put Seattle 2-0 up at LA Galaxy. All right, so look at that movement. Chu and Mark, as he received the pass, just look at the room given to him by LA Galaxy players, and he was able to make that run very relaxed, and he took that shot from that distance to beat Jonathan Klinsmann, who did not train all through the weeks with a suspected broken finger. Just look at the room they gave him, and was able to drive right inside, and so relaxed, so calm, and so collected to take that shot from that distance to beat the goalkeeper. And that put Seattle Sounders 2-0 up at LA Galaxy. And also, Jordan Morris' 20th minutes goal was his 5th in 2 games. Remember, in their 4-1 win at Sporting Kansas, Jordan Morris scored 4 goals in that game. So now he opened the scoring at LA Galaxy in the 20th minute, and that should be his 5th goal in 2 games. But LA Galaxy are complaining that they should have gotten a penalty with Nuhu, who handled the ball inside their goal area. So let's look at that ball that they said that Nuhu handled. Alright, so let's look at that Nuhu's purported handball inside the goal area, as coach of LA Galaxy is alleged. Alright, so look at Nuhu, inside his own goal area, his hands behind his back, as that player was about to shoot that ball, and yes, the ball bounced off his elbow. But the question is, was he making himself bigger to prevent that ball from getting past him? The answer is no, because already his hands were behind his back, and there was no motion on those hands. So you can argue that, okay, it's now left for the referee to use his discretion to see if he will award a penalty. But when you look at it holistically, Nuhu wasn't making himself bigger, and his hand was not in any way obstructing that ball. It was the player that struck his arm with that ball, and I don't think it was a penalty. I think it was a great call. I think it was a great call from that referee. And yes, LA Galaxy coach will argue because he lost the game. He think that at that moment they should have gotten something, which I understand, in the argument. But when we look at it from that angle, the referee got the right call, and Seattle Sounders were able to take 3 points off LA Galaxy this season. Alright, so welcome back to the show. This is still Around the MLS with Sam here on African Sports Network. Let's go to that game between the Houston Dynamo and San Jose Earthquake there in Northern California, because this season Dynamo this should be their 3rd game on the road, yet to pick anything on the road. But looking at that game between Houston and San Jose, last season Nagamura was able to pick 3 points off San Jose, coming from back to beat them 4 goals to 3, which was very commendable of him. But fans were still expecting this crop of players to replicate such heroic display at San Jose, looking at the quality of players at their disposal at this moment compared to what Nagamura had when he was in charge. But then Ben Olsen, look at the player he started already, his preferred back 4, Schmidt, Hadebe, Batlo, and Sturridge, with Herrera, Arthur, and Rennes making his 2nd start this season. Amina Bassi, I think he's the preferred penalty taker for Houston Dynamo this season, alongside Corey Baird, who also started ahead of Sebastian Ferrari. I asked during my week 5 preview of week 6 that, will Sebastian start against Earthquake? But I'm just asking, why is Sebastian being put on the bench? Is it because he lacked fitness? What is going on? But right now I can't get no answer. But from speculation I'm seeing and from the tweet of fans aren't really happy with what is happening. But also Corey Bear started ahead of Ferrari, and Carrasquilla started that game, alongside Corey Bear and Amin Abbasi, and it was a 4-3-3 formation of Benosin starting in that lineup. Jeremy Ebobisse, a MLS veteran, started for San Jose Earthquake. So now, what really happened? How were they able to lose concentration for them to go down 2-1? I think Benosin has that answer during his post-match conference. This is Houston Dynamo coach Benosin.
Well, I think we had a poor start. They had more energy. They were hungrier from the get-go. And they deserved an early goal. Then we arrived at the fight and clawed our way back into it. And I thought 1-1 at halftime was about right. And then the second half, we got a little undisciplined there during about a 15-minute span where we were going for the win and looking to we had good numbers up in certain transition moments, and then again didn't have the quality, and then we exposed ourselves, I thought, way too much for that stretch, and then that's where their PK comes from. But it was I'll stop at that.
All right, that was Houston Dynamo manager Benosin talking about what happened during the game between San Jose and Houston Dynamo. I think they will be at home in this week 7. Yes, they'll be playing LA Galaxy. It will be a very, very, interesting game. Right, we'll look forward to that. This is Around the MLS with Sam here on Africa Sports Network. Alright, welcome to Around the MLS with Sam here on Africa Sports Network. Alright, today being Wednesday, alright, there will be a Champions League matchup between two MLS teams. The Vancouver Whitecaps will be hosting LAFC in the first leg of the CONCACAF Champions League quarterfinals, and man, it's going to be explosive between these two MLS sides. Remember, in week 6, Vancouver thrashed CF de Montreal 5-0. Yes, LAFC are still ranked number 1 in the MLS, despite all that is happening. So, it will be a big matchup right there in that first leg quarterfinal match between LAFC away at Vancouver Whitecaps. All right, follow us on Twitter because I'll be giving you update on that game. All right, this is still Around the MLS with Sam on Africa Sports Network. Alright, welcome back to Around the MLS with Sam here on Africa Sports Network. Yes, let's look at the power ranking after week 6. Yes, LAFC are still ranked number 1 in the MLS. Yes, and when we look at their week's performance, yes, it will give them that power ranking. Great team, great players, superstars, grand results, still battling it, even though they are yet to play their El Tráfico opening season game against LA Galaxy, but they are still ranked number 1 in the MLS. All right, let's go to FC Cincy are ranked number 2. FC Cincy are top of the Eastern Conference. When you look at their 1-0 home win over Inter Miami, which now put them top of the East, and they are ranked number 2 overall in the MLS. While Seattle, their 2-1 away win at LA Galaxy, propelled them to number 3 ranked team in the Major League Soccer. St. Louis, even though they lost to Minnesota in week 6 at home, St. Louis are still ranked number 4 in the Major League Soccer, still top of the Western Conference. While number 5 is Atlanta United. Yes, they are ranked number 5 overall in the MLS. New England and Columbus Crew all ranked number 7. Minnesota number 8, and Nashville number 9, and Philly Union number 10. These are the top 10 ranked team in the MLS. This is still Around the MLS with Sam on Africa Sports Network. Alright, welcome back to Around the MLS with Sam here on Africa Sports Network. Here's a Remo Stars under 17 team who are taking part in the Generation Adidas Cup in Florida in the next round of that competition. When you look at where they are in Group B of the under 17, they are second in Group B. They played 3 games that they've won twice. Goals for 2, goal against 2, and goal difference of 2. They've lost on just on 2 draws and 1 win for Remo Stars in that Generation Adidas Cup in the under 17 category. They are second in Group B behind I think Strikers FC. Yes, for Remo Stars under 17 boys team at the Generation Adidas Cup in Florida. In their first game, they drew 1-1 with St. Louis under 17 team, and they went ahead to beat them 5-4 on penalties. Yes, and give it to Remo Stars. They went ahead in their second game on the 2nd of April. They played 1-1 in that with Strikers FC, and they lost 8-7 on penalties, and they went ahead to beat Portland Timbers under 17 team by 2 goals, not the Remo Stars and part of Niger. Alright, the Remo Stars will square up against Philadelphia Union under 17 team in the playoff for the knockout stage of the Generation Adidas Cup. They are in Florida. Yes, I will bring you an update on that matchup between Remo Stars versus Philadelphia Union. Alright, before we round up today's edition of Around the MLS with Sam here on Africa Sports Network, let me take us to social media reactions from Houston Dynamo fans to the 2-1 away defeat at San Jose Earthquake. You know, sometimes I like to read what the fans has to say whenever the team plays, and this one is coming from El Battalion Houston. They said, "That's enough, Ben. We need a striker that can score goals in the box. Not everyone needs to play two-way ball. Either start saves or bed. Either start saves over bed or make a transfer." Alright, still on Houston Dynamo fans' reaction to their 2-1 away defeat at San Jose. This tweet is coming from Dynamo Fire Mac Jordan. He said the Dynamo would easily have more chances to score if they use anyone but Corey Bird. Houston Dynamo will be at home in week 7 to LA Galaxy here at the Shell Energy Stadium. Yes, I will try to attend the match, even though they have downgraded my credentials. I will try a way to go to that match and get fans' reaction. And thank you for being here with me on Around the MLS with Sam on today's edition on Africa Sports Network. Join me on Friday with week 7 previews as we look at how that game against LA Galaxy and other star-studded games in both East and the Western Conference will pan out. And make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram, on all my social media platforms. And don't forget, have a nice day. My name is Sam. Thanks for watching.